ground and the walls.
They are soft but insistent, full of wise words and forgotten memories.
The fabric of time gone by
resonates still.
With a legacy of thoughts,
of words, of deeds, of all who have inhabited and visited this place.
the generations of men and women
Who have lived and loved.
Discovered and learned.
Been inspired and infused in this place over years.
Decades. Of centuries.
our job is important and we carry it out with care.
We collect stories, precious memories, flights of fancy, tales of adventures, legends of love and loss.
we pluck them from the minds of the old, the dreams of the young and the memories of the grown.
We glean them from the places they've lived and visited.
Where they've celebrated, commiserated, loved, lost, reflected and retired.
Some minds are more fertile than others.
Some places richer than others.
I'll never forget walking into the main hall for the first time. It was like stepping back into an age where things were more simple and yet more complicated. It all seemed so big and posh, and I was a little lad from Wakey, getting to experience things people will never get to experience again.
I'll never forget going to Clarke Hall with my school in year 4. We were taken in groups into all the different rooms. Each home to objects and furniture older than we could imagine. In each of the rooms we learned different things about how life was at Clarke Hall as Benjamin and Priscilla lived there hundreds of years ago. My favourite part of the whole day was when we were taken into the bedroom. The class sat in front of the fireplace and Benjamin sat on a chair in front of it to tell us about Clarke Hall. He told us about hiding a priest in the secret room behind the fireplace, which drew us completely in. The sincerity with which he told the stories made us really believe that his man was Benjamin Clarke, and that what he was telling us was true. Storytelling is the most powerful way to keep history alive, and at Clarke Hall it was done with extra magic.
I remember dressing up in a black and white maid's outfit from the 1900s and picking our Victorian names. Mine was Mary Lyons. We went on a coach, everyone was so excited. When we got there, we had to clean the floors, but we got to look around the gardens and it was the first time I saw a sundial. The owner told us all about all the secret passageways in the rooms and we made marzipan. I had no idea what it was, and when I tasted it on the bus on the way home, I realised it was awful. I helped my grandma prepare all the clothes for my school trip to Clarke Hall. I remember baking bread and peeling potatoes in the kitchen with the long table downstairs. I remember looking around Clarke Hall with my grandma. Inside one of the bedrooms was a fireplace. Inside the fireplace was a tiny door. I remember my grandma explaining how they kept the beds warm years ago. I remember going to U-Tree Youth Fair. I remember going to performances from U-Tree Youth Theatre. They were amazing. I will never forget performing at Clarke Hall in all the different sorts of events. The Shakespeare Festival, the Classics Festival, with the writers and dressing up to be in a film too. It's such a shame that we won't be able to perform there anymore. We didn't just perform in the house there, we turned the grounds into a stage too. A highlight has to be the 15-minute Hamlet. It was so much fun to create and to watch. Most people's initial reaction of Shakespeare is to be frightened away from it. But that play brought Shakespeare more fun. And there wasn't a better setting for it than Clarke Hall. It brought it to life like it brought so much history to life.
The thing I'll never forget is the Classics Festival at Clarke Hall. Not only was I given the chance to perform, but I was also given the opportunity to have some of my own writing performed, and that's not something that comes around every day, and I got that chance thanks to Clarke Hall. I'm not the only person who, over the years, was given an opportunity to showcase a talent thanks to Clarke Hall. The thing I'll remember is the people that it gave opportunities to, and for Wakefield to share it.
My mum says she'll never forget when U-Tree performed at Clarke Hall in the summertime a couple of years ago. We performed Shakespeare, and she says it's one of her fondest summertime memories because the sun shone all day and families and friends and strangers came together not quite sure of what to expect. She hopes what they got will stay with them for a long, long time because there were a variety of stunning performances that made her smile and laugh and cry. and that she was so very proud that her daughter was part of this talented group of young people who could move her to tears, sometimes without uttering a single word. She said that the atmosphere created inspired and created awe and wonder not only for the actors but for the audience, but also that it just seemed to feel right. Right that the young people of Wakefield were bringing joy and life to Clarke Hall.
I remember being at Clarke Hall and learning how to make lots of different things like they did back in the old days. It felt like we'd travelled through time, just making things without any modern tools or shortcuts. I remember making some cough sweets out of icing and raisins. It was so much different to the ones that we buy today. We were surprised. We also made something called a dog tie, which was quite difficult because you had to weave yarn in between 4 sticks. We were taught that they were meant to look pretty, but mine didn't. But we also got told that it kind of symbolised God's eye watching over us to keep us safe.
What I'll never forget about my childhood spent at Clarke Hall is when, at the end of our trip, after we got dressed up in little costumes and sewed together some patterns and cooked food in the big kitchen, we all sat down together, the whole of my class and the staff, and we ate the huge feast we all prepared together. It took up the full length of the table, and we all ate wholeheartedly until there was nothing left.
I remember the whole class piled into the kitchen to eat the food that one group had prepared. It felt really special eating there because everything had been made the old way, and turning the chicken on the spit, for example. We all felt like a huge family squashing up on those benches and eating together.
I never got to go when I was a child, because the boy in my class was naughty and we all got tarred with the same brush. This was the first time I heard that expression. Mr. Rafferty stood in front of us and said, "Unfortunately, you've all been tarred with the same brush because of another's actions, blah, blah, blah." So, as an adult, when I got to go and play like a child, I realised it doesn't lose its magic if you will to pretend. I walked through the house and could hear the whispers of those who'd walked the floor before me.
I'm sad that the next generation of children won't get the opportunity to visit Clarke Hall and learn about its history.
Childhood is a time of memory making.
A time of innocence. Discovery too. In youth, we're not afraid of questioning.
The things we're told we must believe are true.
A place that inspires us to make discoveries.
It's a golden gift of learning to be treasured.
New knowledge is engraved in us forever.
Profits that can't be exactly measured.
Sometimes we are too young to know the value.
What's bestowed upon us as we go.
In time we come to realise what due is owed to what ignites desire to grow.
We are all the children, young and old that visited.
Clarke Hall will be for all time surely cherished.
Listen,
Listen.
listen.
To the ground and the walls.
Hear the voice within them.
They are soft but insistent.
Full of wise words and forgotten memories.
Sense we don't touch.
The fabric of time gone by.
Resonates still.
With a legacy of thoughts.
Of words, of deeds, of all who have inhabited and visited this place.
The generations of men and women
Who have lived and loved.
Discovered and learned.
Being inspired and infused in this place over years.
Over decades. Over centuries.
Our job is important and we carry it out with care.
We collect stories, precious memories, flights of fancy, tales of adventures, and legends of love and loss.
We pluck them from the minds of the young, the dreams of the grown and the memories of the old.
We glean them from the places they've lived and visited.
Where they've celebrated, commiserated, loved, lost, reflected and retired.
Some minds are more fertile than others.
Some places are richer than others.